My friends, hello. A completely crazy story today. We have Elon Musk, who is going to take SpaceX, his rocket launching company, public. He will list it on the stock market on June 12th. And actually, on the very first day, it will raise nearly $2 sextillion. It will be bigger than Microsoft. Actually, when you take a closer look at Mr. Elon Musk, he just built a giant vacuum cleaner. A vacuum cleaner bigger than a housing block. What is he going to vacuum up with it? He's going to vacuum up cash, liquidity. He's going to take it from the wallets of individuals, from retirees' portfolios, from savers, from people who put their money into ETFs, whether they want to or not. And actually, the stock market rules that have been in place for decades have been bent to allow this operation. So it's an operation of a large scale that looks more like a giant vacuum cleaner than anything else. But be careful, is it a scam or an opportunity? I'll tell you that at the end of the video. I'll give you my honest opinion on the matter. Watch. What's going to happen is when we look to really know what's going to happen, we have to look at the document called SA. It's a form that's filled out by companies that want to go public. And since it's a public offering, the document is public. Inside, normally you find the figures, the calculations, the projections, the description of the business, all that. Well, the document provided by SpaceX is quite, let me just tell you that the language inside is messianic. It's going to talk about spreading or extending human consciousness to the stars, building a base on the moon, constructing another one on Mars, things like that. There are a lot of really outlandish things in there. So we're somewhere between finance and esotericism when you look at it. So what they're going to do is merge three companies. That means in the media, we often hear about SpaceX, but in reality, it's just before the IPO, three companies that all belong to Elon Musk are going to merge together and go public under the SpaceX name. So what are we going to find inside? We'll find a three-part package. SpaceX, of course, the one that launches rockets into space. For your information, it lost $4 billion in the first 3 quarters of this year, and it keeps losing money. But it's not the company losing the most, you'll see. We're going to launch Starlink with it, so we'll include Starlink. It's the company that sells internet, satellite internet, for civilians and the military. Starlink is the only one of the three that's profitable, but it's not profitable enough to make the whole group positive. No, the whole group is deeply in the red. So the third branch of this story, the third panel, if you will, is Twitter, which we used to call X, so it's a social network. And then also Grok, so XAI, which means Twitter's artificial intelligence, which is ultimately used. We don't know many people who use it for productivity, for coding, or anything else. We mostly see people when you tell them, I don't know, climate change is a scam. They say, hey, Grok, is that true? And then it will come and answer with the official version. That's the main use we know for that thing. And actually, that thing, so the social network and the AI that goes with it, are deeply losing, deeply in the red, even more than SpaceX. That means that today, it costs more, we burn more cash doing AI than launching rockets into space and doing space research. So as I was saying, this block is going to be introduced on the stock market. But be careful, it's not the entire float of shares that will be put on the stock market. It's only 5%. Normally, and here we have the first violation of stock market rules. Normally, to go public, well, it depends on the exchanges and all that. But 5% normally, that's not enough to go public. You have to put in more because that's what it means to go public. It's called an initial public offering or offer. It's IPO. So if you do an IPO for me, if you make me a public offer, well, it has to be public. But here, he's making a public offer with only 5 of the shares. The rest is held by Elon Musk and his associates, his financiers, the people around him. So they keep 95% and put out the 5%. But then how will it be valued at trillions? It's not just the 5%, it's the entire thing. Let me give you an example. Let's say I create a company today. I set up a joint stock company and I say that each share is worth €1. There you go. Now I have 1 million shares that are worth, on paper, €1 each. Do I really have 1 million euros? The answer is no. I can't just print money like that. I don't have 1 million euros. On the other hand, how can I give value to my shares? Well, let's say I find someone who's willing to buy from me, or a group of people, the public, for example, who are willing to buy 5 of my shares for €50,000. At that point, once I've made that sale, then I'm credible. I say that these shares I own, 50,000 of them were sold at €1 each. So I can also sell the others. I can start selling them slowly. Okay? So you see that the goal of the game is to increase the value of the 95% owned by Elon Musk. Elon Musk, who owns Type B shares that have 10 votes each, while the other shares, which don't have that, are Type A, they have 1 vote each. So what will happen, even though it's completely legal to have shares with different voting rights, is that he will still be the guy who controls everything. But the public, you'll see, won't control anything. So what's going to happen is that in the past, these are rules that date back to the late 90s, early 2000s, when there were major financial scandals. There were quite a few collapses, like the bursting of the AI bubble in 2000, the telecom bubble, the dot-com bubble, which took a lot of people down with it. Well, there are rules that were established. One of the rules is that when a company goes public, it won't be immediately added to indexes like the NASDAQ and others. We won't do that right away. We will let some time pass. Depending on the indexes, this period can range from 3 to 6 months or even a year to allow for price stability. This phase is called price discovery. So we first let things stabilize. Well, exceptionally for this company, for SpaceX, and therefore the conglomerate I'm telling you about, this period has been reduced depending on the index to 5 to 10 days, 5 to 10 sessions. That literally means they're going to take it public, and immediately after, within a few days, it will be part of the indexes. So what does that mean? It means this. A huge amount of supplementary pensions, a lot of savings, mutual funds, and systems like that are what we call passive investments. Passive investments, for example, if you buy, let's say, 25% of the NASDAQ, if a company enters the NASDAQ, they automatically buy it. It's by regulation. They don't look at it case by case. A company enters the NASDAQ, I buy and add it in. That's why we call these passive investments. They don't think about it stock by stock. There's no strategy or anything. The only thing that matters is the indexes. So we end up with a 2 sextillion system, a real monstrosity, with businesses as different as social media, internet service, and artificial intelligence. You see what I mean. Completely different things that we're going to put in the same bucket, that we're going to take public. We don't wait for price discovery. We immediately put that into the indexes. People will start buying against their own will. So you see what I mean? We're in a machine, and it happens pretty quickly. By the way, after a few days or a few weeks, the holders of the remaining 95% will be able to exit, will be able to start selling their shares on the market, which will be bought automatically by members of the public. So you realize that we're really in a catastrophic situation. Actually, Zai, which is Grok, is the first one to go public. It's the first AI to go public, even if it's not going public on its own merits. That means by itself, it's part of the group. So the others are watching, like OpenAI, who make ChatGPT, or Anthropic, who make Claude. They would also like to go public, except that Elon Musk, chronologically, he's ahead of everyone. So he's the one who's going to soak up the liquidity. If things go well for him and the stock keeps hitting new records, it will go well for the others too. But if they crash, if Elon Musk crashes, well, the others, they'll just cross their fingers. So that's the situation we're in today. So one thing that, to answer the question whether it's a scam or an opportunity, I'll tell you something. Today, we've moved away from a rational economy. We've moved away from the calculator and Excel economy, logic, accounting, And actually, it's not just in, I'll say something, I'll broaden it. It's not just in finance, it's in everyday life. If you want someone rational, logical, someone who can add numbers, who can count, who has a good memory, all that, it's over for you. You won't understand anything, you'll be lost. Regarde. Look, let's take OpenAI, for example. OpenAI, they're burning through $40 million a day. They're not working or earning money. Yeah, they have subscribers, but they don't have many, right? 95 of their subscribers users are free, so they have subscribers who are institutional or private. But basically, what pays, right? When a subscriber who pays $20 a month, he's not going to finance data centers, very expensive equipment, energy, cooling, all that. That's not financed. So what's happening is that OpenAI is losing $40 million a day. If it's taken public, there are analysts who say it could very easily reach $1 trillion, $1,000 billion. So today, companies are being valued not based on their current returns, but the more a company burns through cash, the more it makes promises of abundance, the more money it attracts. So, is it a bubble? The answer is yes. Is it going to collapse? Those who say it's going to collapse, are they right? Yes and no. I'll tell you why. If you mention collapse, you need to provide a date. Because let me give you an example. The Stellantis stock is going to go up. Am I right or am I wrong? Well, if we wait, if we look at the next 100 trading sessions, well, maybe there will be a day when it goes up. Then I'll say I was right. The Stellantis stock is going to go down. Well, it's the same thing, normal. But tell me about the next 4 weeks, or tell me about the next week, or tell me how it will close in 2026. That's where, yes, that's serious. You need real faith. So when people say, yes, it's an artificial bubble, they're right. When they say it's going to collapse one day, they're absolutely right. The problem is they don't give any timing. That means that potentially what I just talked to you about, this completely messed up system that we call SpaceX, potentially it goes public. It's going to go up and up. Well, one day it will collapse, but maybe it will collapse in 10 years or in 20 years or in 5 days. Who knows? We don't know. You see what I mean? That's the problem we have. We've entered a totally irrational economy. So we'll see on June 12 and the days after what will happen. In any case, I'm telling you personally, I'm neither going to buy it nor short sell it. So I'm not going to take a position either for or against. I'm watching because we're outside of any logic today. That's it, my friends. Just an important reminder, I launched my coaching website. I've been coaching for quite a while, but I didn't have a website. These are people who came for consulting, and I ended up coaching them on professional or personal issues. I do this with my wife. She focuses on the human side, and I focus on the inhuman side. So I have the website available on the pinned comment, Circle Lucide. I'm launching it. Usually what I do is I start a 5-week coaching program. The next one starts on June 8th. Here we go for 5 weeks. These are regular sessions, discussions, all that. And then afterwards, there will be another one. There will be another one. The next one isn't scheduled yet. You have about a week to secure your spot because after that, we'll be closing. Thank you. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video until now. And I'll see you in the next one very soon.